No more can be traded. My heart's have been spaded. I'm not too prideful to up and leave. You've been all complacent. The tides have been changing. Love is just patience, and for you.
What's up, bookish babes? Welcome back to this channel. In today's video, I decided to go ahead and share with you guys the 7 books I read in December. I know I did an end of year reading wrap up, but I decided to go ahead and do an in-depth December reading wrap up so I can share with you guys the book that I read in December and give you guys my star rating on them, because like I said, I didn't do that in the end of the year reading wrap up. So the first book that I read in December was Defy Me. It is book 5 in the Shatter Me series. This book basically touched on how and what happened to lead up into Juliet being put in the asylum, and Juliet's sister and Warner and her history and stuff like that. I got this book a 4 stars. I really enjoyed this series. First of all, that whole series is a 5-star series to me, because one thing for sure, I love me some Aaron Warner, and their story just, I don't know, how can I just, chef kiss. That's all I can say, chef kiss. After reading that, I finally decided to pick up Iron Flames by Rebecca Yarros and read it. I went to the midnight release for this book, but I was kind of putting it off because I was seeing everybody else ratings and reviews on this book. So I decided, like, let's go ahead and read it myself and see how I feel about it. Now, I actually enjoyed this book. I gave this book a 4-star. I enjoyed this book mainly for what it was. And I know a lot of people was like, the first book was like an information dump, and this book kind of felt short. And I feel like when you at war, it is a little chaotic. So I read this book and enjoyed it for what it was, and I didn't expect crazy stuff going into it. Now, I know I seen someone say that they was arguing a lot in this book, and they were. That's one thing that pissed me off, because they did not know how to properly communicate, and I hate that Zayden felt like if Violet wanted to know anything, she had to ask him everything she wanted to know. And not saying that's a bad thing. Like, if you want to know something, ask. But how he was making it seem as if he wasn't going to tell her any information. Like, if she wanted to know, she had to ask him, or she just wouldn't know. Like, he wouldn't tell her. She had to ask, or she wouldn't know. And that was just kind of weird to me. And they just kept arguing and fussing and fighting to the point where I'm just like, at this point, wrap it up. Wrap it up. Like, I don't want you to be with Dean either, but wrap it up. Like, y'all getting on my nerves. Like, it just gets to the point where why are we fighting? Why can't we just communicate like adults? But yeah, but they can't never catch a break. That's one thing about them. They can never catch a break, y'all. They can never catch a break. And for some reason, when I think about it now, this book kind of reminds me of A Quarter Thorn and Rosie series. I think it's like Akamoth. Was it Akamoth when it was at war, or Aka Wings and Ruins? One of those books where they was at war. It kind of reminded me of that, now that I think about it, without the dragons. But yeah, well, first of all, Phaedra and Ryzen was not doing all that arguing. So yeah, I'm sorry about lighting. It's like keep going in and out. I'm using daylight from on the side of me, so let's adjust the lighting for y'all so y'all can see me. The next book I read was The Right Move by Liz Humford. It's book 2 in the Windy City series. Book 1 was Mile High. Y'all, Ryan Shea is bae. Like, most definitely, one thing about Ryan Shea is I absolutely love him. The things that he was doing for Indy without her even having to say, like, hey, this is what I want and this is what I need. He was just accommodating without having to be asked. And I love a guy that pays attention. First of all, I love a man that pays attention. And Ryan Shea rich. I was smiling the whole time. I really want to reread that book, but I gotta read caught up before I go back. But I was smiling the whole time I was reading that book, because it was just so sweet to me how he always looked out for her without even, girl, he went, Indy dad is deaf, and Ryan had one phone call with him, and he realized he was deaf, and he didn't know sign language. Why did this man learn sign language? Just so he can communicate with her dad. And And that's just one of the many things he did. And she didn't even know. She didn't know that he learned sign language. And y'all, it's just the little things. The little things. Some girls don't ask for much. Some don't ask for much, but to be loved and to be loved properly. And Ryan Shay exceeded in that. Like, he really exceeded in the way that he took care of her and cared about her and was there for her in so many ways. It was crazy. Like, I'm obsessed with Ryan Shay. Ryan Shay was book boyfriend of the year for me, most definitely. He was book boyfriend of the year for me. After reading that, I think I decided to read Christmas books for some reason. Well, it's December, so that was the reason why. But I can only do so many holiday books before I get bored. So I end up reading, I guess it's like a short novella, or I don't know, it'd probably be a full book, but it's called Snow King Catches His Snowflake by A.E. Valdez. This book was so cute, cheesy, and cringy at the same time. Is forced proximity, one bed trope, and Grumpy Sunshine. That's what the tropes I was getting out of it. It's about this guy named Snow who hates Christmas. He was dealing with the loss of his fiance. She ended up dying. How did this lady end up dying? Did they ever tell me how she died? I don't even know. Did they tell me how she died? I don't even think they ever told us how she died. But he was just like caught up in her death, and he hated Christmas basically. So every time around Christmas, he'll have his assistant book him a trip somewhere tropical, and he'll get away during the time. And then when he come back, then he'll hang with his brothers, and his mother. But this year, his assistant thought it would be a little prank to book him to I think it's like a winter wonderland resort. That's a resort. And the resort ended up overbooking, and Noelle, who had just found out her boyfriend cheated on her, her and Snow end up being put in the same cabin unbeknownst to them. And y'all, it was so funny, but it was so cheesy and cringy at the same time that it was crazy. But I got that book a 3-star. So that's it on that. I ain't gonna go too much in depth on that book. After reading that, I decided to read Break the Halls by Tessa Bailey. This is about some rock stars. Are women called rock stars? Yeah, they are. There are some rock stars, and the band broke up. The two ladies, they end up going their separate ways and end up hating each other, but nobody knew why or what happened, and they wasn't talking because they wasn't talking to each other. So this lady came up with the idea to use the kids, the lady daughter and the other lady's son. I think it's Melanie and Beat, to do this show where they trying to work to get their parents back, to do one last show, one last little hurrah before they call it a quit for real. And they was both like, no, we're not doing this. We're adamant about not doing it. And something ended up happening where they end up coming together. So I gave this book a 3-star as well. You know, after reading that, what did I read? I read Briarcliff. Yeah, I read Briarcliff Prep by Brianna Peppings. This book was really good. I gave this book a 3.75. It's about the siblings who go to this prep school. It's like Spelman and Morehouse, like right across the street is Briarcliff Prep for the girls and Preston Academy for the boys. And Avi, it was her first year there. She was a freshman, and she was basically trying to navigate being away from home, and just trying to figure herself out in that time. But she ended up finding out that her sister was in this abusive relationship with this guy named Logan, who happens to be the son of the dean of Preston. And one day, I think they went home, and something ended up happening. That's how she ended up finding out. But one thing that got me in this book was it's just, well, first of all, it's like, I don't know if it happened in real life because I really haven't been around anything like that. So first of all, just search trigger warnings before you reading this book, because it does have domestic violence in it. But one thing that got me with this book was how after Ava, I'm saying not Ava, yeah, Avi found out that her sister was in a domestic relationship, she was like, I'm going to tell on you. Like, I'm going to tell mom and dad this is happening because we wasn't raised to be, we wasn't raised like this. Like, you don't have to go through this alone. I will help you. But Bella was like, no, I want to handle it. I guess she kind of like manipulated her emotions and was like, don't do that. Like, I don't want you to take away my choice. Like, he's taking away my choices. So she was like, well, I'm gonna just give you an opportunity to handle it on your own. I always go with your first mind. And if you see somebody in danger, tell right then. Don't, because it's gonna only get worse. It is going to only get worse because they're going to play, the guy's going to play on that person, the guy or girl is going to play on that person's emotion, and they're going to end up back together, and it's going to be 10 times worse than what it was when you first witnessed it. So please always tell. But yeah, I got a book of 3.75. After reading that, I decided to pick up Restore Me by J.L. Secret again. The picture's on the screen. I think I started reading this a while ago, and I kind of put it down to reread something else because I'm a big mood reader, y'all. Like, one thing about me, I will read whatever I'm in the mood to read. Even if I'm in the mood. What I was trying to say? Even though I'm in the middle of reading, my brain here would blank out. Even if I'm in the middle of reading the book, I will put that book down and pick up the book I want to read. So, yeah. But, I decided to pick this book back up and read it, and I'm absolutely loving this book. I'm loving Dominique. I'm loving, why is this girl Salone? Her name is Salone. My brain and names, it don't work. But I better remember my name half the time. But I really love them so much. Dominique and Salone kind of met at a college party a long time ago, but she was so drunk that I don't even think she remembered my guy, and she ended up marrying his best friend. So Dominique was like, it was love at first sight for him, and same thing with this I just realized that the same thing with this. I meet this person one time and I'm head over heels in love with them, and I'm obsessed with them for my whole life, and type vibes. That's what it was. But yeah, those are the books I read that book 4.75, but those are the books I read in December. We're gonna try to pick up some more. Well, we're gonna try to finish off some series that we started last year because I want to get through all the series that I'm in the middle of so that I can start new series, because I don't want to start a new series if I'm not done with the ones I'm in the middle of already. But yeah. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all in my next video. Happy New Year's, y'all. I hope y'all have a wonderful New Year's. So, see y'all later.
I'm calling bullshit. Say you got it, but you ain't got nothing. Bad bitches don't say shit.